Assalamu alaikum viewers, how are you all? I hope you are all doing well. As you all know that there are elections in our country Pakistan today, because of which videos can be a little late, because we have to go to vote, but inshallah we will try our best to upload the complete volume today. I request you all to pray and comment and tell me who you are voting for. So let's talk about today's episode. In the beginning of the episode we see that Saadat Khatun attacks Bala Hatun. But when Alauddin shouts, Bala Hatun turns around and grabs her hand and slaps her hard and says, "Come to your senses, come to your senses." After seeing this, Mehmet tries to move forward, but the soldier stops him, and Gonca says, "Enough is enough, my father is dying here, now stop it, let's do something." She says to her friend Gauncha sitting near the chief Yaqub, "Baba, come to your senses, Baba, come to your senses, open your eyes, Baba." Along with this, Alauddin makes her hear something, while Mehmet screams and says, "I will kill you in Alauddin, I will kill you." There in the jungle, Usman Sahib says to the soldiers of Tajuddin Noyan, "Come on, come with him, the fight begins there." And Usman Sahib and Urahan and Alkum Khatun start cutting them off. After a few minutes of fighting, Buran and Benda also reach there with the soldiers, and the remaining soldiers are also killed. Benda says, "When we were chasing the running spy, we heard the sounds of swords, and we came here." Usman says, "These were the attacking groups. They had changed the base of the Kayu." Benda asks, "What can be the reason for this, sir? Why are they playing such a game?" Which Usman says, "In the same way the battles against Yaqub were also in this kind of clothes. It is clear that they want to give air to the enmity between the sun and the sun. They want war." Here Gonca is crying and calling Baba, Baba, Baba. Saadat Khatun also cries and says to Sardar Yaqub, "Open your eyes, Yaqub, open your eyes." Mehmet also looks very emotional and says one thing, "I will kill you, Aladdin, I will kill you." Hearing this, the woman who comes there says, "Soldiers, take him to the grave." Mehmet says, "Leave me, I am not going anywhere." Whereas Alauddin is continuously trying to feel the breaths of Sardar Yaqub. Saadat says, "You will have no palace or land. You did what you had to do." Alauddin says angrily when he hears them, "I'm not able to hear their heartbeat." The Jawan Orhan says, "Mr. Benda is not a stranger." Then Aljam Khatun says, before attacking Tajuddin Noyan, he wants to weaken the Kai Kabili through his moves. Orhan asks, "How do you know this, Aljam Khatun?" So she says, "I heard all this while running from there. The reason for this is that they changed the base of the soldiers. When I was a prisoner there, I also wore this dress and escaped from there." Hearing this, Mr. Usman says, "Now I understand everything." Alkim Khatun says, "I can't leave my father and my brother's wife in his hands. Help me." So, Alkim says to Orhan, "Orhan, you will go to save the wife of Alkim Khatun and the brother of the Alkim. You will come with me as soon as you get the order of Buran. The rest of the soldiers will go with Orhan. And I will not go to this city. If anything happens to you, then the situation will be very bad. We will not be able to handle it there." We see that Alauddin is continuously hitting the leader of Yaqub. Mehmet pushes the soldiers back and grabs Alauddin, and at the next moment his dagger stabs him. Everyone tries to stop Mehmet, but Mehmet says, "I will kill you, Alauddin, I will kill you. You have killed my father." Alauddin says, "Mehmet, come to your senses. Everyone else is trying to get rid of her." At this moment, Sardar Yaqub breathes. Seeing this, Saadat says, "Your father is alive, Mehmed." While listening to this, Mehmed leaves Alauddin, and Alauddin says, feeling the breath, his heart is beating slowly. He says he quickly gives him a medicine. Saadat asks Alauddin, "Alauddin, say something. Will he survive?" Alauddin replies, "Yes, he is fine now, but we have to take care of Atiyazan." In that room, Aljan is present with Ghazi, and Ghazi says in a restless way, "You are making me a fool by calling me this as my duty. What kind of duty is it to live in this room? What will happen if that long prince abducts the goon?" "I am here. I will go and abduct the goon," he says, when he starts to go. Aljan hits him with a spoon from behind, and then says while holding him, "Look at me. You have never been beaten like this by me. If you step out even a step, I will hang you upside down. She says she makes him sit again. At this moment, Jurkutai enters. Seeing Jurkutai, Aljan says, "Are you in pain? Are you okay?" Jurkutai says, "I'm fine, everything is fine." Seeing Jurkutai's condition, Ghazi asks, "Who did this to you?" Jurkutai says lovingly, "No one can harm me, my lion." Ghazi says, "Tell me who did this so that I can punish him. Who dared to touch my father? Who says, Aban Jurkutai, I can get such a beating every day by seeing such love and affection in your eyes?" Then he says, sitting, "Remember, I once mentioned a task to you. Now it's time for that task. I'm going, Ghazi." So Ghazi says to him, "No, no, no, never. I just met you. Now where are you going?" "Never." After hearing this, Jurkutai loves him a lot and says, "Look at me, Ghazi. We will have to separate for a while for the country and for the duty. We will do the secret work together. But no one will know about this. This secret is now in your mind, and this is your first duty. This duty is very important. About this, only you, me, your mother, and no one else except Usman Sahib knows." Listening to the name of Usman Sahib, Sadi Ghazi gets excited and says, "Mr. Usman, did Usman Sahib give me this duty?" The answer is, Jurkutai says, "Yes, absolutely." So Ghazi says, "This first task will be very difficult, but if it is for the country, then I accept everything." Then the woman says to Jurkutai, who is sad, "We will always remember you, Jurkutai." So Jurkutai says, "The pain of separation will be with you, but I promise that the task will be completed soon. We will never be separated again." A promise of a father and a Jurkutai. He says he embraces them both. There we see that Sardar Yaqub gets up and everyone is present with him. At this moment, Usman enters the battle. As soon as he sees Usman, Mehmed says, "He is the scoundrel who shot my father." So Burhan stops him and says, "Dastur Mehmed, Dastur." Sardar Yaqub also stops Mehmed. So Usman says, "Listen to what your father says so that you can live a long life." Then everyone goes to Usman's words, and Sardar Yaqub says to Usman, "First of all, by the grace of Allah, and then by the grace of your son Usman, tell me who wanted to kill me." The young man says, "Tajuddin Noyan." The leader says, "What does it have to do with us, the nephew of the great Mujahideen? What will it do to me if I kill him?" The young man goes on to say, "Yaqub, they know very well that you are using your children as spies. They know your weakness very well. Tell me, if you lost your life, who would your family consider responsible for it? Then your family and we would have been against each other. The Sardarans would have been standing behind us. They want to get the Turks killed by the Turks. But thank God we didn't allow it. We didn't let them reach their goal. They will be unhappy with our success, and also with the fact that what we will do next. But Mr. Yaqub, you were compelled by your greed and stood against me, which the Sardar Yaqub says while feeling ashamed. You are right, Mr. Usman, especially when I heard what my wife and children did." "I had no knowledge," Usman says, "but it does not matter. You told me that one who cannot take care of his family, how can he be the leader of his followers?" Sardar Yaqub says, "I will make him the leader of his followers. We will walk on this path together to stand on our feet." Usman smiles and Sardar Yaqub asks, "Why are you smiling, Usman?" Jawan Usman says, "I will tell you when the time comes. Will you be able to sacrifice your life for us? Will you be able to sell your soldiers to the death when we are doubling our strength? So can you stop your strength from increasing? Tell me." While listening to this, these leaders get upset and do not answer. So Mr. Usman says, "Okay, I expected this. We cannot walk together on this path." Then he says, moving forward while stopping Yaqub, "You are neither standing with me nor against me. Now it is time for me to move away from the way." He says, Mr. Usman goes along. And the end of the episode. If you like the video, then like it, subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon.